everyone, Billy here from Box Collectibles, bringing you another toy review, and today we are looking at the DX Robo Universe Daiujin. This is the fourth entry in the DX Robo Universe line, and it is one of the most, remade Zords, Megazords of all time, because it is the Mighty Morphin Dino Megazord as well. But this is a very unique take on the design. Unlike the Flame Toys Megazord that I covered a while ago, this is another spin on Daijujin / the Dino Megazord. And as you can see, there's a lot to be covered in design choices and things like that for it, just for it to look like the picture that's on the box. Speaking of the box, let's go ahead and look at that. All right, and so here we have the box with a picture of Daijujin on the front. It is a lot different than the other Robo Universe front covers, because those had like the toy there. This is more of like a render, like art, which I like. I just don't like that it doesn't match the other ones. But luckily enough, on the sides, it does. So over here we have all the Zords. And then on this side, we got Volume 4 Daijujin DX Robo Universe with that logo. And then up top, we got Tyranno Ranger and Daijujin. And then on the bottom, a bunch of words. And then on the back, we got Robo Universe Daiujin, all of the individual Zords, showing that it is compatible with the Tega Sword. And then also down here, we got our first look. So we knew this one was coming out. Gao King already covered Gokaiyo, and then we got Shinkano coming out soon too. Can't wait to see that one, because that one I think lends itself better than the two animal, or more animalistic, because these are like boxes and whatnot. So yeah. All right, and here we have the individual Guardian Beasts. I think that's what they're called in Zyuranger. I haven't watched all of Zyuranger. At least I haven't gotten to that part. You can see there's a lot of design changes here. So let's go ahead and just go over individual Zords and talk about them as we go. All right, so I'm going to go Power Ranger order on this, like I typically do in these reviews, and we're going to start off with, I think this is Mammoth. Yeah, it's Mammoth for Mammoth Ranger instead of Mastodon, like in Power Rangers. As you can see here, it's a lot different, considering it's very long in the back. I think if somehow, because this is just the Robo Universe stuff, something like that would have been better, so the arms weren't like hanging off. But official, it has it like this, like that, where it's just a very long mammoth. The tusks are infused to the trunk. Has the same color eyes, the green eyes and whatnot, the M. But yeah, very different. I've done a lot of Daijujin Dino Megazord reviews on the channel. Make sure to check those out if you don't know what these Zords are supposed to look like. But otherwise, I don't see a reason for me to compare it to the Soul Chogokin that I have. All right, next up is the Pterodactyl, which is it Terra Ranger? I need to look at Zyuranger stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a fake fan. But this one's also a lot different because it has cannons on top instead of just the wings. But the wings are still there, so that's nice. But I think this one's one of my favorite ones because it's just like a chibi pterodactyl. This also has never been anything other than a chess piece. As you can see, it's way different designed. Yeah, it's just like a little solid brick. Not much else to it. Speaking of bricks, we have the Triceratops. It was always notoriously a brick, but this one, these legs are very similar to Gokaiyo's legs in like shape and whatnot and how they work. It's kind of how, because they both have this peg here. That's how I wanted Gokaiyo's legs to be, but for some reason they did something else with the trailer. So yeah, but no tail, has a peg there, doesn't roll. Horns aren't all the way painted, but yeah, it is the Triceratops. And then the other leg, the saber tooth. Let me fix the teeth real quick because it matters. But very long neck, no legs at all, no tail, nothing. This peg here. These will not be in individual Zord modes on my shelf. All right, then everyone's favorite, the Tyrannosaurus. You know, the main, the red for, you know, coming back and whatnot. Yeah, its arms are here. It has, I like the way that they did the legs, like with these back here. That's cool. You can see where the power sword is. It's the tail on this. There's no back. It could have used some like white teeth or silver teeth. I'm sure, you know, people that care enough to pick this up can paint it and make it look a lot better. But yeah, none of these have posability at all. All right, so one last thing before we start the transformation. Robo Universe, I think its strong suit is definitely like the more vehicle-based Sentai, because the frame is already mechanical. Like the Zyuranger Zords were mechanical in design, but not to this extent where they're boxes. But once we get to the Gaoranger Zords, which are more, you know, round shape and whatnot, it's even going to look like, somehow those ones look better than these, but also it's just the animals and that aesthetic don't work well with what Robo Universe is trying to do. But let's go ahead and get them transformed and combined into Daiujin. First, we'll start with the saber tooth, flip up the teeth back to the correct position, take off the head, and then it just, you know, the Robo Universe pegs like that. And this is going to be the right leg. And then Triceratops, same thing, left leg. And I will say the transformation for this is very involved. So, or, you know, there's a lot of pieces moving around. Next, we'll do Tyrannosaurus. What we need to do is take off this top red half, take out the tail, and then this brick right here is going to come off. It was pegged in here, and then this is going to be the waist and upper legs. So it's going to be like that, and then we can go ahead and take it and plug in the saber tooth and Triceratops. As for these, we're going to take this off because this is going to be the head. This piece right here comes into two, like this. There's no actual clip. It uses like a pressure thing on this, but it will clip onto here. This is the waist skirt, like that. And then this has the belt, so that goes next, like so. And then we need the mammoth. We're going to take off the head, because that's going to become the shield, and the shield actually keeps the feet on it, which is also another difference. But for the arms, it's the same, surprisingly, where they fold out like this. And then this has a peg here, and then it goes on to this peg back here, like so. The head is going to peg on the peg up here. And then pterodactyl, this comes off here. The head folds back just like the original. And then that goes onto the chest. And then these hands, they fold out like that and like that. And then they fold down, you know, just like the regular Megazord. And then on the back here, we're going to take off the Tyrannosaurus head because it's just sitting there. And then this has like a little notch thing. It kind of just pressures onto it, but it just plops on back here. That's where it's hanging out. And then this is similar to the wheels from the Gokai trailer. And it goes onto this peg back here. And there we have Daiujin. And then you want to put the arms out forward so you can, the shield like this. Goes into his left hand, and then the Mighty Power Sword goes into the right hand, like so. And there we have Robo Universe Daizyujin. And now this design, I enjoy it like as like the combined form. The individual pieces leave a lot to be desired, but there's only so much you can do with wanting to use that Robo Universe frame. But overall, this like the body and whatnot, it's not suit realistic like Tokyo was, but it's also like differently designed like Gokaiyo was. So speaking of which, we might as well run through all the comparisons that we have. First up is Mach Robo, the start of the Robo universe, and you can see how they look together. And as for like limb swapping with all the Robo universe stuff, I'll just be posting that on Instagram. I might post some over here just to reconnect with everyone about Robo universe and whatnot, but it would just take up a lot of time to swap all the limbs. But I will be showing it being compatible with Tega Sword, so there will be some limb swapping. Next up is Gokaiyo. And here you can see the leg thing that I was saying, where these are like similar shells. Like this is the only limb swapping I'll do, but that's what I meant by them doing that. So like you could have the submarine with the saber tooth and whatnot. All right, and then we have Tokyo, probably a lot of people's favorite out of the Robo universe. Then Injino, the first of them besides Mach Robo. And then here we have the team up from the show, Tega Sword Red and Daiujin. So you can see them together. And then while we have them here, might as well do some limb swapping. And so, like, the Tega Sword, the Robo Universe pegs on it aren't like the best, I think. Like it's really weird. Explain it. But like they're the same. It's just different. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Better plastic, maybe. But yeah, so you can do stuff like that. Obviously, it looks better to put the mammoth arms onto Tega Sword Red and whatnot. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and really quick show you how I make the tank mode. I'm not really going to explain a lot while I'm doing it. I'm just going to turn into it, and you can follow along if you choose to. If not, just enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a mess. There you have it. The tank mode. I'm like, it's hard to move around because I have things balancing it. But I mean, it's pretty close, I would say. that's that's the general vibe of it. They're just all stacked together in a tank, quote unquote. But yeah, and then you can do the final attack that they did in the episode where Tega Sword comes in and they just ram through the monster. It's pretty cool. Yep, that's about it for that. Alrighty, and that's been it for this one, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the DX Robo Universe line. Are you picking them up? Have you only been selecting and choosing which ones you want? Do you just not like them at all because you have the original DX releases? What are your general thoughts on them? I personally think they're a lot of fun. They add a lot of playability to the toy lines that they're a part of. Like, not necessarily Boom Boonger as a whole because it only worked with Mach Robo, but like it gave Mach Robo a lot of stuff to do by using the other Robo components, and when he only had like the 2 ports on his arms for the cars. But like with the Tega Sword and whatnot, like being able to put different arms onto it, kind of plays into the anniversary motif there a little bit better than Boot and Boonger. But yeah, that's been it for this one. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at instagram.com/Marcus Collectibles, where I will be posting more pictures of this. Thanks for watching.